Back session 2 of my beginner-friendly series here that we're doing on YouTube. It's beginner-friendly because I put the count down in the corner every 3 hands or so, as well as we're using a smaller bankroll, a $15,000 bankroll, which some of you who are just starting out might be closer to that end than compared to some of my other higher bankrolls I do with the double deck and things like that. We are playing one shoe of 6-deck blackjack in each of these videos, and this is going to be an ongoing series probably every Thursday here on YouTube. Additionally, we lost $55 last time, so not too bad. Hopefully get back on the winning train this time. So I have $14,945 I'll push over your way in a second. You're going to be playing in this spot, hopefully spread in 2 spots when the count goes high enough. Speaking of that, on the screen here I'll put the numbers that we're using. These come from Blackjack Apprenticeship, and you can check out the bet spread and things that we're using for that. But additionally, these numbers that come from Blackjack Apprenticeship, I highly suggest that you run your own numbers, and I'm going to put a link down below for Blackjack Apprenticeship's member sites. There's some kind of demo videos on there that kind of illustrate what they have and show what you get if you become a member of Blackjack Apprenticeship. I highly suggest running your own numbers, as if you just try to, if you're like, I can count just fine, I'm getting all these correct, but if you go out and you try to make your own bet spread and just wing it, you are going to get crushed. All right, you absolutely have to know your expected value and your risk of ruin for every single hand that you put out when you're playing. And to do that, I know it might seem a little expensive at first to get Blackjack Apprenticeship or other betting softwares, but it is worth it. You're going to lose far more if you try to just wing it on your own. I've seen it time and again where people just try and then they eventually are like, all right, I need it now, and then they start to be successful after that. So that said, I'll push the chips over your way, get the cards shuffled up, and we're going to get started playing one shoe of 6-deck blackjack today. All right, I got our cards all shuffled, and again, those numbers that you saw there on the screen do call for about 1 deck cut off, so I'm going to do my best to judge that. I'd say that's maybe, that's pretty close, so we'll call that good. And then we'll throw the first card over here into the discard tray. I do have a discard tray cam for you set up, so you can judge your deck estimation appropriately with that. Otherwise, those numbers that you saw on the screen call for a bet spread that starts off with a minimum of $10. Since we're starting at 0, that'll be here. After the first round, I'll throw up the counts down in the corner, and then every 3 hands after that, and then maybe next video we'll do every 4 hands, eventually every 5 hands is probably where we're going to kind of cap that, so that we kind of progress in our card counting journey just a little bit. Otherwise, you guys ready to count? Ready, get set, let's count. All right, super high count. Wow, that got shot up to over 20 at one point, according to what I had. So hopefully that's a huge win today. My goodness, that was crazy. That said, let's count this up. This plus the burn card should be the opposite of what we have, since we have to get back to 0 as we use a balanced count, the high-low card counting system. So let's count out, see what we got. We have -1, or I'm going to say D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D4, D3, D2, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D4, D3, D4, D5, D4, D3, D4, D5, D6, D5, D4, D5, D4, D5, D6, D5, D4, D5, D6, D7, and D8. Yeah, this was -8, and so we need a count of +8, which I wrote that down over here. And so I think our counts should have been correct, and more importantly, our bets were correct. All right, I'm gonna get these counted up for us and see just how much we won today. All right, a couple things. I always think it's interesting, and when you get a when you're counting cards, typically, you know, we were putting out those minimum bets of $10 when we don't have the advantage, which at the very beginning, and we actually end up with less red chips than when we started with. However, we definitely have more green and black chips, and so it looks like we have still our 10,000, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's what we originally started with in this bankroll challenge. So we're gonna be way up today, which is awesome. 15,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700. And then 8, 9, 16,000 with all this. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. All right, and then 17,000. So over $1,000 win today. $10. 17,010 is what I have us with. So that is a huge win of close to over $2,000. So not too bad at all. All right, guys, again, down below this video, if you want to check out the Blackjack apprenticeship, there's some demo videos that is on that site. I've kind of partnered with them. They put together a little site for me that kind of showcases that. I would check those out if I were you. If you, again, you're going to take this card counting thing seriously, you absolutely have to run your own numbers. Otherwise, until next time, this is A1 Blackjack.